Oh, the irony. I was going to make a video about this because this showed up in my Facebook feed. And this is about Congressman Anthony D'Esposito, somebody who clearly represents the snobs on the South Shore. And he says he will continue to fight Equinor's attempt to overdevelop Nassau County's South Shore with their landscape-altering offshore wind turbines. So you could see he's against renewable energy. All right, so look, I'm not saying that all of the renewables in the world are going to save us, but it's a step in the right direction to shift away from fossil fuel burning plants and use wind power. Yet the snobs are upset because of the power cable that will run through their community. They stopped that. The governor put a stop to that. And now they're upset because of the wind turbines being looked at. So they're just so arrogant. Meanwhile, it's okay to have trash trains running through the middle of the island and all the overdevelopment and trashing of the middle of the island and the industrialization of the middle of the island. But no, those people on the South Shore, they're important. They get to keep their suburban quality of life. Well, they lost power today. There was a power outage in Long Beach. And, of course, SouthShore12 was all over it. I mean, if this happened in the middle of the island and we had a blackout in the Mineola, Garden City, Roosevelt Field area that affected this amount of people, you think they would cover it like this? No. How many stories do they have here linked? 1, 2, 3 stories. 4 videos on this. 4 videos on this. All right, and you're going to see this one.
Knocked out power to homes, businesses, and traffic lights.
Yeah, so we see response to
all about these
and
people.
As soon as the power went out this evening, a massive mobilization of emergency crews.
Do you think we would get a massive mobilization of emergency crews in the middle of the island? No, we wouldn't get that. We wouldn't get that at all.
A view from Chopper 12 right now over the scene. You can see still a lot going on, and this I don't know if this video is current or from
so just
it's
all
live.
Over this
there we
all
go.
day.
Okay, so obviously crews are still out
so
there,
obvious,
as we heard from
on.
Kevin Vesey at his vantage point. A lot going on. Crews are breaking down, but slowly. I mean, look at that right there, right of your screen. You can see all the line of emergency cars. Traffic, though, you can tell moving. Haven't gotten any, but it was restored power.
So power was restored, and here's another
blackout
video.
Left everyone in Long Beach in sudden and total darkness, wondering what happened and what to do next.
Yeah, News 12's Tama Ponton was in
see
Long
this
Beach
story
right
here
along with
in a
them.
minute
Tama,
here.
you were there in the dark with everyone else when the blackout was happening. What are people saying tonight?
The blackout. So they're going to call it the blackout of 2023. All right, you lost power for like an hour and a half. I've had 3 power outages on Mineola already, but these people apparently so important that if they lose power, the whole world has to pay attention.
Well, Antoinette and Joe, one man walking through this intersection with his son said to me, "I can't believe this. What happened?" And he wasn't the only one asking that. Everyone we spoke with today, they were in shock and disbelief over what they were seeing.
Shock and disbelief over, we lose power in Mineola quite often, actually. But I guess these people, again, they're important. They don't have to deal with power outages.
Not seeing because of the blackout.
So
sounded and looked like night.
I just got home, went in, all the lights were on, all of a sudden it went off, went downstairs and saw the whole block was out.
It was more than just of the businesses or home. The lights were out.
These people.
I was walking down the stairs and I was almost missing a step because it was so blackout. I was like, what's happening? And then I looked around at all the stores and saw that everything just didn't have lights on.
And driving in the dark was no way through the streets during rush hour. Stop. Shouting at drivers to follow their instructions. We spoke with say they could hardly believe what was happening.
I was coming down Loop Parkway and it was completely blackout.
Stop the presses. These important people
the kids were
lost
calling
power.
home, complaining. They were hungry. I couldn't stop.
It just was really scary, and the lights.
Oh, jeez. I'm just tired of it, man. It's all about the South Shore, right? So we're going to play what News 12 said. Please advise there's a citywide power outage. So 20,000 customers were affected. They said there was an issue with the power lines connecting the barrier island to the main grid. So we're going to play the 5 minutes of coverage that this got. 5 minutes, by the way. You can guarantee, I would bet you $100 right here that if this happened in my area and it affected Roosevelt Field and the major shopping corridor, it wouldn't get nearly this coverage. It would probably get 20 seconds if it got anything. So let's take a look and see how the important people in Long Beach were freaking out over losing power.
The whole Barrier Island was down.
It just was really scary.
Well, right now on News 12,
Yep.
a Barrier Island blackout.
Point lookout to Atlantic Beach.
So ask yourself this. If this happened in the middle of the island, do you think that it would get so much coverage? Probably not.
Beach plunged into darkness.
So that's why we got to call out Channel 12 once again.
Yeah, that entire city of Long Beach went dark when a transmission line failed.
Yeah, it knocked out power to homes, businesses, and traffic lights.
Yeah, we have team coverage tonight, starting with News 12's Kevin Vesey. He's at City Hall with the emergency response to restore power. Kevin, good evening.
Good evening, Joe. Yeah, and as soon as the power went out this evening, a massive mobilization of emergency crews immediately got underway. Every available first responder here in Long Beach and in surrounding communities sprang into action. The streets of Long Beach were pitch dark after a blackout brought the entire city to a standstill for about an hour. Power was out across the Long Beach Barrier Island, affecting communities from Point
it's a big
Lookout
story and
all
they
the
should
way
cover
to
it,
Atlantic
but
Beach. The lights have since come back
we've
on,
had similar
but at
issues in the
one
middle of the
point,
island and it
PSEG
doesn't get
Long
this
Island
kind of
reported
coverage.
More than 20,000 customers without power.
The whole Barrier Island was down. And what we did was we just held over our police officers from day tour and night tour, so we had double the police force out there.
First responders were at intersections directing traffic where streetlights had gone dark. Long Beach officials reported no serious incidents. There was one fender bender during the blackout. Police officers, EMTs, and
Let me remind you, this
firefighters
power
came
outage
from
was only
miles
about
away.
90 minutes.
They checked
all
on
right?
some of the most vulnerable residents who were without power as the temperature outside quickly dropped.
They have a lot of senior complexes here, a lot of assisted livings and nursing homes, so it was very important to assess all those.
And a lot of rich people work on Wall Street.
In particular, their generator wasn't operating correctly, so we made sure that we had the resources come down and be able to make sure everybody was safe.
And now the investigation is underway to determine the exact cause of the power outage. Long Beach city officials say they will be in touch with PSEG-Long Island throughout the night. Joe, Antoinette?
All right, Kevin Vesey live tonight.
They're not done yet.
No one was hurt in all of this because it could have been really, really bad.
A lot worse.
Yeah, well, the blackout left
course, they're showing
everyone
the
in
stocks.
Long Beach in
Shows who
sudden
they
and total
serve.
darkness, wondering what happened and what to do next.
Yeah, News 12's Tama Ponton.
Oh my God, it's like they act like they never lose power.
You were there in the dark with everyone else when the blackout was happening. What are people saying tonight?
It's unbelievable how much time they're spending on this.
Well, Antoinette and Joe, one man walking through this intersection with his son said to me, "I can't believe this. What happened?" And he wasn't the only one asking.
These
that.
people should live in
Everyone
Mineola. I've had 3 power outages in the past
shocked
year.
and disbelief over what they were seeing, or not seeing, because of the blackout. This is what being plunged into darkness sounded and looked like in Long Beach as people tried to make their way through the citywide blackout Tuesday night.
I just got home, went in, all the lights were on, all of a sudden it went off, went downstairs and saw the whole block was out.
It was more than just one block in the dark. There were no lights in any of the businesses or homes, and all of the traffic and street
All right,
lights
look,
were
there's
out.
nice
I was
bus.
walking down the stairs and I was almost missing a step because it was so blackout. I was like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, well,
and I looked around at all the
This is what I've had to deal with when I've had
I saw
power
that everything
outages.
just didn't have lights on.
And driving in the dark
These people
was
are so
no less of a
spoiled.
challenge for people making their way through the streets during rush hour. Horns were honking almost continuously.
It's like the power was back over there.
Officers were shouting at drivers to follow their instructions as dozens of emergency vehicles made their way through the streets, sirens blaring. People we spoke with say they could hardly believe what was happening.
I was coming down Loop Parkway, it was completely blackout the whole way. So when the kids were calling from home, complaining.
These people are important, man. They gotta have their power, you know?
Scary, and the lights, the traffic was terrible, terrible.
Now the big questions that people tell me they want answers to. Why did this blackout happen, and what steps are going to be taken to prevent it from ever happening again? They do tell me that they are glad that the lights came back on
when they did. So are we. Joe, Antoinette?
Yeah, that is for sure. Tama, thank you so much for that live report tonight.
5 minutes on that. Unbelievable.
In the bathroom.
I mean, it should be a top story, but isn't that a little over the top? I gotta explain what may have happened here, all right? This is an old document. Being in mind, some of these lines may have been upgraded. But actually, I made a mistake. There are no 67 kV lines that go to Long Beach. Only 33 kV. All right, so that's the light blue color here. And you see they actually have 3 different power lines with that big that substation, that big symbol here. That's the substation right here. All right, in Island Park. All right. E.F. Barrett gas turbine. All right, so you have actually 1, 2, 3 different transmission lines serving Long Beach. So to say it was a transmission line problem, well, why did all 3 transmission lines go down? You can see how well they're served there. They have a lot of transmission capacity compared to Mineola, which actually we have no transmission lines going to Mineola. The nearest substation is in Carl Place to our east, and to our west it is in Garden City Park. All right. I kind of explained that to you before, how bad our grid is over here. So we're in the West Glenwood load area, I believe. So it's this area here. This is a crappy grid. Let's see if we can just get this over here. I'll have to go like this. All right, so you can see Mineola is, you don't even see Mineola mentioned on here. This is Mineola right here. We don't have our own substation. Unlike the people in Long Beach, we have 3 transmission lines. All right, but anyway. Getting back to, these are the transmission lines. This is one of them right here. This looks to me like 69 kV, but you can see this is one of the lines here. We've got another picture of them here. Kind of show you what where the problem occurred. And again, their News 12, with all their coverage, they didn't really talk about the fire that occurred. Not getting reported, but there was a transformer fire at one of these substations here. One of them. There's several of them. You have the E.F. Barrett generating station, and then you have this substation over here, and then I think that's it. Yeah, so you have this substation right here. All right, so this is where the problem occurred, and it affected the transmission lines going into Long Beach. All right, so if we go over here by the railroad tracks, you'll see that you have, now the railroad was not affected by this. The Long Island Railroad was not affected, although a lot of the lines to the Long Island Railroad come through that substation. I don't know, but whatever the case was, they weren't affected. But this is the transmission line, or at least one of them here, coming into Long Beach. You can see they even have metal poles. Look at that. Yeah, they gave them metal poles. But anyway, you'll see, and this is another transmission line. So this is another 33 kilovolts. They're 33 kilovolts, but they're kind of built for 69 kV with the bigger insulators, but I'm pretty sure they're all 33. And then you have an older line that comes down through here. If you look at Waterford right here, we'll have an older line that comes in through here. This is the older line, the older power line. All right, I guess that circuit's not in service anymore but anyway, this is the older line right here. It may not be in service anymore. But this is the older line on the top here, all right? Right here, this line right here, 33 kilovolts. All right, 34.5, it's very similar, all right? Whatever the case is, you have 3 different transmission lines going into Long Beach, all right? And this is the Island Park train station, and you have the Island Park substation right here as well. So this is the Island Park. So again, these are the lines that are coming into Long Beach. Yeah, that definitely is a 30. This line right here, definitely it's all 33 kilovolts. And so this didn't flippers and this didn't go down. But whatever the case is, it affected, whatever the case is, maybe the other line just couldn't take up the load. We don't know exactly the details. We'll find all this stuff out. But you'll see here that, and this is one of the paths here. So this is one of the paths here. This right here. All right, that's a 33 kilovolt line. And then we have this line here. That's also 33 kilovolts, also going into Long Beach. That goes underneath. They all go underneath. They don't bridge across. So they all go into risers underneath the rec lead canal here. So they all go into these here into these risers here. Look at those big things there. Unless this is where the fire started, but they're saying it started over the bridge in Island Park, so maybe it was over here. I don't know, but that substation is also technically in Island Park, so maybe the problem was over here. Maybe this is where the problem was. Maybe that would make a little more sense, but still, why would that? They have another line to use, so even if this line goes down, they've got another one over here. So if we look over here, probably be able to see from here. Yep, here you go. This goes underneath too, and then it goes above. Where does that go? All right, it goes under, and then it comes back up again. So let's say it goes under here, it comes back up. I'm pretty sure that goes into Long Beach, whatever the case is. And this other line here, you see here, comes back this way and goes under over here. So they both go under over here. So this one goes under here, that one goes under there. All right, the old one, and then this was the other one. So they have 3 lines, and then they come up, and they said transformer. So this is the substation here for the Long Island Railroad. So whatever the case is, it caused everything to go. I don't know why. All right, I'm sure there's going to be an investigation, and everybody's going to find out. Here's the substation for Long Beach right here. All right. No street views here. Probably not going to be able to see much of anything. But the substation is right over here. All right. So whatever the case is, this whole thing went down. So we don't know if it was actually at the substation or what. But whatever the case is, you know, they lost power. It is a big deal. I'm not saying it's not. But you know that if this happened in our area, it would not get the coverage. It would not get the coverage. In fact, it has happened. I think 5 years ago or whatever, we had I think I was living in Mineola at the time, or I just moved to Mineola. I don't know if I was still living in Westbury. Might have still been living in Westbury. But there was a failure of this transmission line here. We'll go right in here in Hicksville. There was a failure. I think it might have been at the substation here. But this transmission line right... Go over here, I guess. Probably old street views, but yeah, this line right here failed. And this line serves Westbury, so it caused a blackout in Westbury. It also affected Syosset. It affected Hicksville. Probably at least 20,000 customers, if not more, were affected. And I don't even think it got covered on the news at all. It happened during the day, obviously, but we had a power outage for a couple of hours. That outage was longer, but of course, if it affects the middle of the island, nobody cares. And this is even 5 years ago. So you can imagine how much worse it's gotten. You know, it's a big deal. I'm not saying this isn't a big deal, but we know damn well that if this happened in the middle of the island, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't give a shit. It doesn't matter if Roosevelt Field gets blacked out. It doesn't matter if the county seat gets blacked out. No, it's all about these kind of people on the South Shore. They're very important kind of people, you know?
The traffic. Now, the big questions that people tell me they want answers to: why did this blackout happen, and what steps are going to be taken to prevent it from ever happening again?
Yes, they don't want to ever have to lose power again. You see, they're important. Mineola's had power outages. We've had many power outages, and it's not just due to storms. It's done due to equipment failure. You know, I think a few years ago we had a trip at a riser. I'm going to throw those power outages into this video right now.
All right, we have a breaking news story this morning in Mineola. The power has gone out in the entire town. I'm walking to the north, there's power, but I'm walking through this whole town and there's no electric. And it's stifling this morning. That's the second time the siren has gone off, so something must have happened. That sound here is a person driving an SUV like a maniac. So the whole town is no electric on this stifling morning. No electric. whole town, Mineola, central part of Mineola, has no electric right now. Now, I'm going to head over to the train station and see. Another day, another power outage here in Mineola. This one is a little weird because I have partial power. Alright, fire trucks are going that way, so maybe the problem is on that street. I don't know. There was a fire alarm. Power outage or not. Yep, there's the problem. We have a power outage here in Mineola. We gotta cover it. It's not affecting all of Mineola, but it's affecting a good chunk of Mineola. And you can see that this traffic light is out here. Okay, we're having a brownout, and I want to show you what a brownout is like. You can see the lights are very dim. We had the power went out, and now we have partial power. The air conditioner will not turn on. You can hear that UPS beeping. You can see all these are blinking here. So apparently there was a PSEG power issue along the branch. This happened, I guess it's saying 13 hours ago, so figure around 9 o'clock this morning for the morning Ronkonkoma service was suspended, and it was eventually resumed here. Actually, it looks like it affected everything going through Hicksville. So it looked like everything going through Hicksville wound up being suspended because of this PSEG power problem between Hicksville and Bethpage. This is a big issue with the infrastructure here. Ronkonkoma branch service suspended. There was a service, and it looked like it was suspended for a while, maybe an hour or so. So you see the number of the power outages that I've had to deal with living here in Mineola. And I've only been living here like, 6 years? We've lost power. We lose power a couple times a year here. And it's not just due to storms. It'll just go out sometimes on a sunny day. But the reason why is because they've built all these apartment buildings in Mineola, but there have been no upgrades to the power grid. And we don't even have our own substation. It's funny how Long Beach has all this development. They get all the infrastructure to support their power demand, but we don't get any of that. No, we've got to have our power come in from this substation here. This is the one on the east side. This is in Carl Place. All right, and then the power is going to come all the way. I've made videos about this, but, this is what we get. I mean, we have much nicer power lines in Long Beach. Look at the crap we get. I mean, really. All right? Yeah, this is the crap we get. That's what we get. All right? Look at that. All right? So, I don't want to hear it. All right? This area is neglected, Mineola. It's neglected in many, many ways, and we're going to have plenty more power outages in our area, and they're going to be completely ignored and completely forgotten about. All right? We don't get... This is our transmission line into Mineola. That's our transmission line to Mineola. Look at that. It's pathetic. All right? That's coming from the east. Then we go look from the west. At least they upgraded one of the distribution lines from the substation in East Garden City. I'm not East Garden City, but Garden City Park. We have the substation here, which is a joke. Can't even find it. It's so small. Here it is. It's a tiny little substation here. This is the Garden City Park one. I mean, this is what we have here. All right. And I don't blame PSEG-Long Island for this. This is all LIPA, and we want to give LIPA even more control. I mean, they're playing favorites. Look at this is our distribution system here. This is how we get our power in Mineola. It's fed on these lines. No wonder why we lose power all the time here. And we're going to continue to lose power. It's going to continue to happen because nobody cares about us. And it's just evident what's going on. It's turned out to be a long video. But when you get me started on a bunch of snobs in Long Beach upset the power went out for 90 minutes and they haven't lost power for like years, you know what? You're a bunch of spoiled brats. All right? They really are a bunch of spoiled brats. Come live in Mineola. Come deal with the power grid most people on Long Island deal with, in the middle of the island in particular. Losing power. Yeah, this is the county seat, but it doesn't mean anything. It's all about these people on Wall Street. They got their little enclaves in all their South Shore towns,
and they're going to whine about wind power, and kind of serves them right to lose power. But even when they lose power, they're always going to win. They're going to keep winning. It's all about these people, and the rest of us just don't count for shit. And look, I know it's all part of the plan. I know it's the part of the plan to force us out. But I don't have to like it. I'm going to keep complaining about it. Thank you for watching.